Before we get started with the episode, did you know that Talk Music Talk has its very own app? It is free for iPhone and Android. With the app, you get every single episode of the podcast. That means the back catalog plus new shows will automatically appear in your feed. With this app, you can download shows for offline listening. You can also star your favorite episodes. You can share episodes on social media or email them directly from the app. It is free and available in the Google Play Store or iTunes. Just search for Talk Music Talk, and once you download the app, please leave a rating and or review in the store to help spread the word and get people talking about Talk Music Talk. And now for today's episode. Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Talk Music Talk. Episode number 99 to be precise, which means that we're on our way to 100 coming very soon. But that hasn't happened yet, so I'm going to tell you about episode 99 soon as I tell you about Talk Music Talk, because this may be your first time listening to the podcast. Talk Music Talk is a weekly music interview podcast where I, boice, have long-form discussions with people who are connected to music from all different genres of music, singers and songwriters, music therapists, music photographers, music journalists. And on this episode 99, which is very special, I had the pleasure of speaking to Kamilah. Okay, I told her this after the interview, I am a fanboy. When you listen to this interview and what is so extra special about it, which I am going to tell you in just a sec. But let me tell you about her. Kamilah is a singer-songwriter. I found out about her. I'm always looking for guests. I am guest scouting, you could call it. And one of my favorite clubs here in New York to go to is Come On Everybody in Brooklyn. So I checked out their website, saw they had a performance on a Saturday, and one of the performers was Kamilah. I Googled her, of course, and discovered her video, a performance video for the song 1600 Miles, which was actually her submission for NPR's Tiny Desk. What did I feel when I saw this video, heard her singing? That same thrill I had the first time I heard Tracy Chapman singing Fast Car. The first time I heard Joan Armatrading performing, heard her singing. That voice that just stops you and you just feel what they're saying. So, of course, I had to go to Kamilah's show and I got that same exact thrill. So, of course, I had to have her on the show. I asked her, met her after the show, asked her to be a guest, and she said yes, which brings us to this episode. Kamilah is originally from the Bahamas. She is in New York now. This is a great conversation. We talked about her passion for music, her gaining confidence in her voice, how she nurtures her talents, and we also talked about her experience playing at the Apollo and also how she put together her Tiny Desk video for NPR. And now I will tell you why this episode is extra special. You just don't come across great talents like this every day. So I came up with the idea and asked her, and she said yes. She did a 4-song performance recorded just for the podcast. You could call it unplugged, but I won't because unplugged is trademark. But it is her performing acoustically on her guitar and a track on her keyboards in her studio at her home. 4 songs, 4 amazing songs. I was like a foot away from her, just enjoying this performance. You are absolutely going to love this TMT session just for the podcast. She recorded it. So here it is, without further ado, a great conversation with Kamilah, followed by her TMT session. Enjoy. I discovered you from just rooting around on Come On Everybody's site.
Nice.
And saw you were performing. Well, I listened to some samples.
Yeah.
And saw you were performing. And I think the main thing I saw was the 1600 Miles.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's really there.
Yeah. How did that come about, the Tiny Desk?
A friend of mine suggested that I try for it. It's a contest that they do.
It's NPR, right?
Yeah, it's NPR's Tiny Desk. They did a concert for sort of unknowns or little-known artists. So you put together a video at a desk. They got a Tiny Desk, whatever your interpretation of that is. And then, so my friend was just like super last minute. This was not something that I was like, you should enter this. And I was like, I need to be doing things. I haven't been doing things. Yes, I will do this. So in the matter of like 4 days, me and, a few friends pulled together and figured out that video. I think it was less about the competition and more about me just getting myself to put stuff out there. So that's the only thing that has lived online so far since I've been taking this a bit.
When did that come out?
January 2015.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So the audition tape is what we actually see, or you go to their studio?
No, so it's a contest. So
okay.
That's
the actual video.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's my video. But I wasn't chosen by them in the end. I think another band won that year. So
okay.
Or that round. I don't know how many they do in a year. But yeah, it was like thousands and thousands of people just posting videos that are for that. So yeah.
So how did that feel putting that out there, getting it all together?
It was a ride. I think I don't think I was thinking about it. I think it was the same thing that happened with me. I played at the Apollo a few years ago, and it was the same sort of thing where I just decided I was going to do it in the moment when did it. You know what I mean? And then thought about what it was I was doing after the fact.
Were friends pushing you into the Apollo also?
No,
Did they suggest
that was me. That was
okay.
me just walking around, and I saw the ad for it in the subway and then decided I would go. Like that's among the crazier things.
Yeah. I've never been. Is the audience as bad as you see on TV?
They're brutal, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean,
if they like you,
like you, they're lovely. And I was lucky because they
You're like, I have no idea what they were bad.
No, because backstage they have a monitor up so you can see what's happening and you can hear it too over the speakers. Okay. And it's just like, each audience has its own like boo sound. It's different every night, because
is that daunting? Like you're backstage and you're hearing the people that you just seen backstage.
Yeah, because like everyone's cool backstage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you almost really want them to, whatever happens, you just hope they don't get booed. You know what I mean? Because nobody wants to hear that. And like from one artist to another, like I wouldn't want to hear that sound. You know what I mean? Like that would suck. So I wouldn't wish that on anyone, even in competition. I don't really know. I don't know. I have feelings about music competitions in general.
Same here. So what was the process of that with the Apollo? You auditioned?
Yeah, so it was like over 300 people wrapped around the block waiting to go in. I went at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And I was already halfway down the block.
Okay.
And blocks in Harlem are not small.
How long were you waiting in line?
Until 10 a.m.
Okay.
So for 5 hours, I was outside in February or March.
Okay. That's dedication.
Yeah. I don't...
By yourself?
My friend Tracy was there with me. Like, and Tracy's just a ball of energy. She was like, we're doing this. We're doing this. And so super helpful. Went out there and just waited and waited. And then eventually they called us in. And I'd prepped one of my songs to do. And so I just went up there and I sung it. And I got through like over half the song. And then they stopped. They're like, wait, did you write this? And I was like, yeah. And they said, do you have a cover prepared? And I didn't. Yeah, and I was like, oh, yes. And so I did Alicia Keys' Unthinkable. I didn't get through very much of that. And then they stopped me and they called me over to the desk. And I was like, oh, I don't know what that's for. Why are they calling me over? And then she was like, okay, so basically you're going through kind of thing. Okay. And the relief, it was just like I was so tired. I was glad that it was over, and I was glad that they liked me, but it didn't really hit me till I think about the third round or something like that, months later, that it was a competition. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that I could win. Which, I don't know. Because
once you waited all the 5.5 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you're in, are you then waiting more?
Or no, so I was 86. They saw me. They told me I got in. They didn't tell everybody right away.
Okay.
sometimes you had to like wait around to hear everybody who would get called or whatever. So it was just chaos because they're like, you know, parents of younger kids, sort of like their energy, and, you know, like
tiger moms,
exactly, like acts, them like people like me, groups, dance troops, you know. Sorry, so like everyone's just frantically excited and stressed and anxious and or relieved, and they can't really express it yet, you know. Like I don't know, it's a real strange energy. Exciting energy for sure. I definitely wouldn't have traded that experience. I would do it again 10 times.
So then you perform next, or like 3 rounds of audition, or 3 rounds of actually performing?
So then you go into the first round of performances. So it's 4 rounds of performances, and each round, if you place in the top 3, you move on to the next one. So they shuffle, I think, maybe a couple hundred of us or whatever.
And what'd you perform for your first round?
So I did mashups. I'm gonna forget now what the combinations were because it's like, oh my god, 3 years ago. But old school and new school was always the plan. I did a little Miguel, Rihanna, like Diana Ross, you know, like, and the idea was to take songs that had a similar sentiment, because I personally think that mashups should create a brand new cohesive song, right? I don't like it when people take 2 random songs because they sound cool and then put them together and lyrically they make no sense. Like, so I tried to make sure that there was some sort of narrative being told, but that, you know, each generation, because it's a, you know, multi-generational audience. So to make sure everybody had something that they could get attached to, and that the transitions were interesting. And, I don't know. It was a lot. Like, you know, I had a music director help me like figure out, like write the music for the band, because it was the, you know, Paula House band that was playing or backing us, unless we had a pre-recorded thing, which I didn't. So I played guitar for that every round. I think the last round I switched up the song. I'm not sure if that was a bad idea.
Was this a cover or what?
No, it was another mashup. Same sort of concept, but just a different combination of songs. I would do it again. I'm glad I did it. It was fun. It was fun. It was stressful. It's definitely a competition at the end, and you definitely like want to win by the end. But it's a multi-talent competition, so it's not just musicians. It's not just, you know, musical acts. It's beatboxers. It's dancers. It's
jugglers.
It's, you know, acrobats, contortionists, magicians. Like it's anybody with, you know, some sort of entertainment.
Have you done a lot of competitions before that?
No, not really. No.
Because of your view on competition.
I just don't know that that's right. Like, I just don't know. I don't know that it's right to pin artists against each other. Yeah. You know, I think art in general is a collaborative, warm thing, and I feel like competition somehow sullies that. You know, but.
Or even too, it's like you're comparing apples and oranges. Like everyone has their particular thing,
you know. And then when it boils down to what other people like, you know, as opposed to just who you are and what it is you make, which should be the point. I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, I do get suckered into watching shows like The Voice and stuff. I like The Voice the most because it seems to be mostly about the music.
You know, I've only seen like bits and pieces. I've never watched the whole show.
No.
I mean, feel that about competitions too.
I get it. You know what I mean? I understand how that's like riveting to watch and feel like you're a part of and all that stuff. But like, just because you don't win The Voice doesn't mean it's the end. You know what I mean? But the way that it's structured, it's supposed to feel like do or die because that makes good TV. But that's not what art is. No. Like how I sounded when I was, you know, when I first discovered my voice, really, like, and was consistently using a more sort of, I guess, confident voice, was like maybe 2009. Okay. And before, I mean, I've been singing since I could sing.
Okay.
But I had a very quiet, sort of very soft, very Corinne Bailey Rae kind of voice before. And I just knew there was more in there. So I was hesitant to like launch myself doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because that didn't feel like it was all there was, but I just didn't have the tools yet to like really explore my truest voice. I think I'm coming into it now. I mean, I think this thing evolves. Mm-hmm. But
so you grew up a musical family, or how did you start singing?
Music enthusiasts.
Okay.
So my dad's really...
That's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm talking, like, classical on a Sunday. Like, opera even on a Sunday. Just all the things. Mm-hmm. Like,
was voice the first thing for you, or
piano? Okay. Well, it's sort of hard. Voice is always our first thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I hadn't thought of it like that.
Yeah. Like, voice is, you learn to talk. Like, when you're a kid, you're sort of singing before you're talking. Mm. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just sounds.
Well, when did it become an awareness for you that?
I mean, I don't know. My mom, I always tell this story, but it's like the furthest back I have any story of my musical interest. Mm-hmm. So when I was 3, apparently, well, definitely Michael Jackson was doing the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And I was sitting in front of the TV. My mom is a big Michael Jackson fan. By proxy, I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. Ergo, I am a fan. So, like, when she was a kid, she wrote letters to him, like, kind of level.
Oh, really?
Like,
okay.
Fandom.
She was deep.
Yeah, she was in there. And so we were watching it because, of course, Michael Jackson, duh. Where else would we be? So apparently I was glued to the TV, like, just sitting down with my eyes. Like, and she was trying to talk to me about something, asked me if I wanted something or something, and I just ignored her because
Michael's on. Like,
and eventually when she got my attention, apparently I ignored what she was actually asking me, and all I said was, I want to see Michael Jackson. I want to be Michael Jackson. And she said, oh, okay.
Okay, and that was kind of...
And she just left me to my devices. So, I mean, that's like a cool story to have.
Yeah.
Was I conscious of it at the time? I don't think so, but I don't know that... I feel like I'm going to sound like really neo something with this, but just I don't know that you ever know fully that this is the thing.
Okay.
You know, I think built into being an artist is having doubt. Mm-hmm. And I think never knowing for sure if you're in the right place is a thing that I'm just going to have to learn to live with.
Okay. And does that produce like a desired or certain effect?
Yeah, because there's nothing else I will really want to do. Mm-hmm. You know, like that much I know. And that's a hard, I guess, moment to come to for a lot of people. I've found, you know, I have a lot of friends that don't really know what their thing is, but I've always known that my thing was this, you know what I mean? So it's like, in that much, you know, one can know, but yeah, it's a different life you've said.
Yeah, it is.
When you realize that this is all there is. Like, it's all...
I interview people all connected to music. It's the same thing. It's like, well, how... I can't do anything else, right?
There is nothing else
that would produce the same feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, but the satisfaction, like the rush you get when you're doing it, the rush you get when other people feel what you're doing, like there is nothing comparable to that.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna get that from anywhere, you know, kind of thing. So
were you doing like competition? Well, you asked you that. Were you putting your music out there, like young girl, teenager?
When I was in middle school, I had a band called Fire.
Okay.
It was 4 of us. I played guitar and a little piano, and I think I wrote most of the songs. we'd have different parts, and harmonies. And
okay, so you're doing all that?
Very seriously. We put on showcases for our families. That was fun. Somewhere there's footage. I don't have it, but I think one of the girls might have it.
Okay, that's gonna come out one day.
I hope somebody can dig that up for me. That'd be lovely. I don't know. I don't remember what my voice sounded like. Because by the time I got old enough to record at home, my voice had already changed maybe 3 times.
Okay,
my approach had changed. What I would like to change. I wish there was more of a record of when I was really little, doing musicals at school. And, I did all the musicals, all the musicals.
What was one of your favorite musicals you did?
Once on This Island, because it's the one where my drama teacher made me realize that I had a bigger voice than the one I'd been using my whole life. Miss Reese, I'll never forget that.
Okay.
She used to pull things out of you. She didn't even know were there.
How did she do that? How did she get more out of you?
So, Once on This Island is Haitian play, and I played the goddess of love, and it's a love story between, 2 people who aren't supposed to be together, but the pull of energy, and there are all these gods, that look over them and are sort of, manipulating their lives such that they end up together or whatever. And I was the goddess of love. And so I had this big song, The Human Heart, I think it was called. And it was sort of, the one where this has happened in plays before. I'm thinking of Aladdin, but the magic carpet moment where they're sort of together and you realize, or when Simba and Nala realize that they like each other.
So this is the magic carpet moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the song, and I had this big song, and so I was at the back of the stage. Miss Reese was at the front of the stage, and we were singing, and she just couldn't hear me because I wasn't singing loud enough. And so she walked to the back of the room and then shouts all the way to the back of the stage and says, "I can't hear you." And until I made this sound and everybody stopped, and she looked at me and she's like, "That's your singing voice." Okay. And I was like, whoa. I still have those moments, with my vocal coach and stuff now. I still have moments where I'm making sounds that I never made before. And
when she did that, were you still gaining confidence in your voice?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm still gaining confidence in my voice. It's one of these things I just don't think ends. I think you get used to dealing with it, But I have a lot more confidence now than I did 3-4 years ago, than I did when I was 17, when I played, or 16, whatever it was.
Where are you from? Where did you go to school?
The Bahamas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you get to the States?
So I born and raised in the Bahamas, left there, came to DC for a year, went to Howard for undergrad, left Howard after a year and moved up to Canada, finished undergrad at York University in Toronto, and then worked for a year in Toronto, and then moved here for grad school, so I went to NYU. And then I graduated 2014, and now I'm working here and I'm making this happen. There is no try.
Yeah. No plan B.
No.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the other thing. I'm a planner, so I always had plan A and plan B. Hence all the school and the prep. You know?
But is music related, the school?
No. My undergrad was in visual arts, so I paint and stuff.
Okay.
Which I don't do nearly enough of now, but I love it still. And then I started in communications, then switched over into fine art, and then did my grad program, my master's in media culture and communication, but all my research was on music culture, music business, music tech. And then, now I'm here.
But that seems like a good.
I tried
less of plan B, more like plan.
Yeah, plan A and A support.
Yes.
That's the goal. Whatever. I'm working to make the money during the day to afford this. I would like it to serve it. Okay. In more than just a monetary way.
So the whole path, was it I'm going to do music?
I mean, I think every artist has most artists. 'Cause I know some people with very brave parents, but I think most artists sort of have to fight for it a little, you know. So I think as much as she loves my music, my mom would have liked me to have a bit of a more traditional setup, such that you know, financial, like, true freedom and you know, whatever. Like I think that would have been easier for her to wrap her head around. My dad has always been like, "Oh, she's the artist weirdo one. She'll figure it out." Like, but he's also not going to fight the battles for me.
Okay.
Right? So
they're still in the Bahamas? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I see my mom a lot. She comes up to visit. Her best friend lives here.
Okay.
So, and my dad is still home. Yeah.
Okay. So is that like this big, bold thing to move here?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I'd visited a lot again because, like, my mom's best friend, my godmother lives here, so I'd come up in the summer and stay with her for a few weeks.
Totally
but, I mean, no, it wasn't totally brand new. And plus, like, you know, if college is on your radar at home, then it's almost inevitable that you're going to leave.
Yeah.
You know? And so that wasn't such a weird idea to me to go and live somewhere else. It was, at first, like, Canada seemed so far, you know? And then once you go that far, anything... you know, at least within the same hemisphere, everything sort of, you know, feels not so scary.
Yeah.
New York, the scariness, or I say scary hesitantly, it's not really scary so much as just overwhelming in its own way. Like, that factor of New York didn't really kick in for me until after I moved.
Okay.
Like, so as I was packing, I sort of started to feel something like, oh, I'm leaving my college friends here. I don't want to do that. And then I just kind of like, nope, I'm going to NYU. That's where I want to go. Boom, boom, boom. Like, and then I moved, and it was like, I'm in New York. You know, and for the first,
how did this happen?
I know, like, I have an apartment. I'm living with somebody I've never lived with before. Like, what is this? New York is its thing. Yeah. You know, you've got to be doing what you want to do. That's what I've realized. It took me a long time to get here. You have to be doing. Everyone's here for a very particular reason. Like, you were either born here and have access to a lot of money, and you've just always lived here with that life, or you've come here because there's something here that you need. Yeah. You know, and you're working towards that always. So, unless you're actually actively going after that thing, it's almost just boring. Like, not boring, but like too much. Like, it's almost too overwhelming. Okay. Boring is entirely the wrong sentiment. Like, it's a very aggressive environment. Like, everybody's rushing and there's so many bodies all the time. Like, it's hard for you to, like, the peace of mind factor isn't going to be there unless you're finding it in the thing that you love, you know? So I've realized that I just need to be doing this, and there's nothing else ever.
Did you see a difference in yourself from pre-coming here? And,
oh, absolutely.
Like, how have you changed, or difference in you?
I think at whatever rate you do this, New York forces you to find yourself. Because if you don't, you won't make it. Like, it's so easy to feel the need to adopt some sort of facade, some self-protective self, right? Expression. Or expression of self. But eventually it catches up with you, and it's not what you want. Yeah. So you have to find the thing that you are and express that with as much clarity as possible. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I guess in that sense, I wasn't even conscious that I was as self-conscious. And then I came here and I realized, no, you got to peel off some layers and just be what you are. Be who you are.
How do you peel that off? How do you peel off layers?
I don't know that it's a science. So much as it just happens. Whether it's like a sunburn, it's like you go out and you're in the sun, you're exposed to sunlight. Like, whether or not you have sunblock, like, you could very well get a sunburn. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that. Like, you're here, you're living here, you're making it happen here. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes, you know, you have to start again. sometimes you have to find a new approach. But it's all an evolution.
Yeah.
You know? And as long as you remember that, then you get burned, you peel, and then the skin comes back.
Yeah.
And somehow you figure out to get shade.
And how are you nurturing the actual music performance part?
So I have a vocal coach who I see once a week. I have a guitar teacher who I see, when I can see him, because he works on Broadway and stuff too. So it's not like a regular class. But I see both of them fairly regularly. I'm like collaborating with friends. I play by myself, and then I book gigs where I can. But I think I'm still learning the balance between the full time and the passion. So I haven't booked as many gigs this year as I'd originally planned, but I'm launching my website, and I've got 2 new videos coming, just live shot videos again, like 1600 Miles, but just to start getting things up so people know, what I do. And then the idea is, between now and the early part of next year to actually start releasing, radio ready recordings.
Okay. And this will be original stuff, all original stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, I'm not against covers. I probably do a few, but they would be non-official, obviously, because, copyright.
Yeah.
The law.
If you can avoid all that legal stuff,
I could not get in trouble for singing songs. That would be good.
So you said you didn't have, that's the only music you have online. Why is that the only music you have online right now? 1600 Miles.
Why that specific song? Or you mean
just
why
in general?
Since?
Yeah.
It's just, again, it's like timing and writing and like refining the stuff and realizing that even 1600 Miles is a little bit different from what I envision myself doing. Like, as it's being expressed now, that's not to say I won't revisit it and bring it up to speed, so to speak. But like, I think I just knew I had to figure out what I wanted to be and sound like. I have a better grip on that now. So, the new stuff's coming out in the next, week or so. Okay. Is the plan. Provided the website gets done. But yeah, and then those will be out, and then I want to start gigging more. Like I need to, the goal will be definitely to book gigs. Probably a couple before the end of the year.
Okay. So you have are you thinking of doing an album? Is that like in the pipeline?
I'm thinking an EP or something, like a smaller project, but one that's done very well, I definitely don't want to try and throw together a whole album that could have sounded better if budget had. If you know what I mean? Like I'd much rather put the resources I have available and the collaborative resources I have available, with other musicians and stuff. I'd like to make sure that all that is where I'd want it to be, so that whatever lives out there is exactly what it could have been. Okay, you know what I mean.
So I guess this year's almost over. So EP, is there like an ideal or what you would like your career to look like?
Yeah, I just want. I don't have any release dates or anything like that planned yet. All of it is still in the early stages of planning, and I'm still writing some of it because I've got enough material technically for maybe 3 projects. Okay. But figuring out the narrative I'd like each project to tell and the moment in time I'd like to capture is stuff that isn't ironed out. But in general, for my whole career, I just want to be able to do this, and I want people to be able to hear me. You know what I mean, and see themselves in the stories I tell. And find peace there. Yeah, and I'd like, I'd love to travel, and I'd love to know more about the world and how people live. Yeah, and how people make it. You know what I mean? Not in music necessarily, but just
surviving.
Yeah, because it's different for everyone, and there's stories there. And like right now, a lot of my stuff is just about my lived experience, and it's a bit of catharsis for me, for sure. But I have ideas for other stories I'd like to tell, but it's still like a part of me that's evolving as well. Yeah. And I think, I envision being able to just take in as much as possible and put out as much as possible. Because I believe it's not all for me.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Like, how are you, or also a vessel or tool type thing?
Kind of, yeah. Like, I mean, I'm not religious. I'm probably spiritual. You know what I mean? I believe in energies, and I believe in the power that each of us has to do good things. I've always believed in that in a semi-naive way, but now that I'm sort of coming into the ideas a bit more and thinking about it a bit more, I think we're all capable of so much awesome. So it's figuring out what your awesome is. Okay.
Have you figured out some of your awesomeness, or
it's music,
what do you want to share? Okay.
It's just music and writing. Like I think obviously, like, there's always room for growth. I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but I'd say I'm coming to feel a bit more confident about my ability to tell stories that people can relate to. So I would like to do that.
Okay.
For as long as I possibly can.
Excellent.
For me and for other people.
And where can people, you said the website is forthcoming. Where can people?
The website is coming soon. I'm on Facebook at /I am Kamilah. That's IAMKAMILAH.
Okay.
My Instagram and my Twitter are at IAM_Kamilah.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Well, this is wonderful. And you're going to do a little set.
I am.
I'm excited about that. So I wish you the best.
Thank you so much for having me. This is amazing.
Sure.
Morning light casts through your window, melting on your skin. Like honey sweet, I lay beside you, taking it all in. 'Cause I know at any second you could change your mind. Push me away, go your own way, and leave this all behind. Think I'm losing all my pride. You got me losing all my pride. Scared I'm losing all my pride. And I'm scared that it won't last. No, I can be my truest self. You let me see all of your vulnerabilities. So words of love pour from my tongue. I'm so foolish with my honesty. 'Cause I know at any second you could change your mind. Push me away, go your own way, and leave this all behind. Think I'm losing all my pride. You got me losing all my pride. Scared I'm losing all my pride. And I'm scared that it won't. There's a magic here between our palms. I feel your soul and you know mine. Like we've done this in our past. I don't ever want to leave your side. Leave your side. 'Cause I know in any second you could change your mind. Push me away, go your own way, and leave this all behind. There's a magic here between our palms. I feel your soul and you know mine. Think I'm losing all my pride. You got me losing all my pride. Scared I'm losing all my pride. And I'm scared that it won't last, no. Why, all of a sudden, does it feel like I got something to prove to you? That I can handle what you can handle, and that I can be there for you. Seems we've been crossing each other at the wrong time. When I wasn't ready, you were ready. Now I'm ready to make you mine. And this may come to you as a surprise. But I still see beautiful in your eyes. Why, all of a sudden, do I feel nervous at the thought of being near you? When in our past we were close like steel and magnet, baby, yeah, we knew that there was a chemistry just between you and me when we were together. You for damn sure felt something, but now you say just friends. That can't be your end. And this may come to you as a surprise. But I still see beautiful in your eyes. So kiss me one time so I can know if this is real. Kiss me one time so I can know just how you feel. 'Cause I need to know, I need to know, I need to know, I need to know the truth. Close to you in my dreams. I watch your chest rise and fall as you sleep. If I close my eyes tight enough, I can hear you breathe. Yeah. But when I wake up, you're nowhere near me. With these 1,600 miles between us, 1,600 miles. And when all I want is you, these 1,600 miles just won't do. I get by on memories of your honey kiss and my shaky knees. Yeah. How much I love you, baby, I cannot believe. Yeah. But you're not here, darling, you're not here, and it's killing me. With these 1,600 miles between us, 1,600 miles, and when all I want is you, these 1,600 miles just won't do. Oh, 'cause sleeping on your chest is the best kind of sleep I ever get. I hear your heart and my body falls at ease. How much longer till I touch you, baby, please? It's getting off of me with these 1,600 miles. 1,600 miles. And when all I want is you, these 1,600 miles. Say, well, all I need is you. These 1,600 miles. Say, when all I want is you. These 1,600 miles just won't do. They won't do. They won't do. I understand when you say you're scared to love again. When your heart is far too splintered, all the parts too delicate to mend. But every shard is a piece I'd help you start to glue. And in the end you won't be perfect, but I'd love each broken part of you. So what you think this is? When you're laying with me broken hearted, I'm the one who's catching all your tears. When you're looking for a home to hold, you know that you can always find one here. It's too dangerous to fall for you. I go on dates with other people just to pass the time, convince myself that I'm not laying here waiting for you, denying all this pent-up love I felt. But as you go and find yourself, I'm hoping that sometimes you'll think of me. While I'm here dreaming up a future, there's a chance that there may never be. So what you think this is? When you're laying with me broken hearted, I'm the one who's catching all your tears. When you're so confused and lonely that this kind of love is everything I feel. It's too dangerous to fall for you. It's like my heart weighs 1,000 tons. Every time you tell me you're not ready, and my soul deep down knows you're the one. But my mind knows you can hurt me, and my lack of balance, well, it renders me undone. If you don't see me as forever, please don't take my heart for fun. Late at night, my eyes are wide, 'cause sleep ain't finding me. You're probably laying with someone who's giving everything you think you need. But when you get off of this ride, mistrust and heartbreak took you on. I hope my stubborn heart is at your door, and none of what I hold for you is gone. So what you think this is? When you're laying with me broken hearted, I'm the one who's catching all your tears. When you're so confused and lonely that this kind of love is everything I feel. It's too dangerous to fall for you.
And there you have it, the TMT session with Kamilah. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I told you it was special, extra special, and I know I didn't lie to you. Kicking it off, you heard Losing My Pride, Steel and Magnet, 1600 Miles, and then Dangerous to Fall for You, finishing it all off. Don't forget to check out her website, IamKamilah.com, coming soon. And when you go there right now, you will see links to her Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. So follow her everywhere she is so you can keep in touch with what she does. As for me, I am also on Instagram at thisisboice. Follow me there and check out the website, talkmusictalk.com, for more information on this very podcast. And do not forget to download the TMT app for iPhone and Android, wherever you like to get your apps. You want to be ready for episode 100. It's going to be very special. Don't get ready, people. Please just stay ready, as the expression goes. And in the meantime, before 100 is out, check out something from the back catalog. My suggestion is episode number 21. If you love great music, like Kamilah, you're going to love Sarah Elizabeth Charles. She released one of the best albums of 2015, Inner Dialogue, co-produced by trumpet master Christian Scott. Sarah Elizabeth Charles, episode number 21, one of the best jazz singers you will ever hear. I am a fanboy of her also. Thank you so much for listening. Till next time, and there will be a next time. This one's for you, Liz.